Hey, welcome to Scale Wars Joe Force. This is Cliff, and this is going to be a reaction to Hasbro Pulse's reveals of GI Joe products coming out in 2022. As you can see here, I've got like a smattering of classified, vintage O-ring, 25th anniversary, some of the movie 25th anniversary or modern style figures, some of the re-release or repaints like these two Vipers here, or these two Cobra Troopers. I've even got a kind of kit bash Stalker, just bought a extra ripcord and put Stalker's head on that. It looks pretty good to me, especially from what we saw today. Just kind of wanted to give my reactions to these reveals, and I'm going to kind of do them in order of the way they were revealed on the video. First off is, oddly enough, Zamot. It's a funny name, sorry. But it's kind of weird that they did him first and not Tomax first, because you usually hear their name as Tomax and Zamot. And it's kind of odd to hear Zamot and Tomax. First thing I want to note about the Tomax and Zamot, or Zamot and Tomax figures is they both kind of look like Tom Cruise. Like, I don't know if anybody else is seeing that, but that's immediately who I thought of looking at the figure, or the head sculpt. It made me think if they did a 80s accurate A-Ra or Sunbow accurate, or just like lore accurate to the file card set in the 80s GI Joe movie, and they got Tom Cruise to play the twins, both of them. That'd be hilarious, and I think he could do it like where it was kind of funny and still kind of cool. That'd be really interesting to me, because they always kind of came off to me as a little short. It would help make Destro look taller, it would help Cobra Commander look a little more imposing, but you would also have, like a great actor playing Tomax and Zamot. That'd be pretty cool. Obviously, the other thing you notice at first is how faithful they were to the vintage O-ring figures. I mean, they even got the big knee pads. They've got the holster on the side of the boot. Obviously, the sashes and the shoulder armor, and I can't remember what you call that, neck armor like that. It's very nice. It's simple, but it's definitely nice. I'm a fan of this. This is the kind of GI Joe classified figures I'd like to see, like that Amazon exclusive Roadblock. That's the way to go. I'm glad to see this kind of stuff, and it makes me think, are they going to do Tomax and Zamot in a 2-pack? Because it kind of makes sense that they're going to do it. Going off of something that they were hinting at in the live stream, it's kind of likely that they're going to have retro-style cards, like the A-Ra cards, but for 6-inch scale. Emily even said the packaging is going to be kind of big. Kind of makes sense that, yeah, if you scaled up the A-Ra card, it would be kind of big for a 6-inch figure on the shelf. We've seen the Vintage Collection Star Wars figures with it. On Tomax and Zamot, there's really not much to say. It was great that they were faithful to the vintage figures. They hit all the right beats, points, or the right features on the suit to do. And really, it doesn't look like they modernized it much at all. I'm kind of interested to see what kind of accessories they're going to come with. It'd be nice if they come with kind of like a briefcase like Destro did. Maybe some kind of MacGuffin to steal. That'd be kind of neat. So let's move past the twins to the next reveal, which I'm really excited about. It's not what I expected. Stalker. For one thing, they're calling him Stalker. I'm glad that they didn't change his name. Another thing, I'm glad to hear that he's going to have the removable beret. In the live stream, he said that the hairdo that they gave him, they gave him a, quote, sweet fade. That'll be neat to see. Apparently, his body sculpt is a new sculpt, and I was surprised by that, because I thought they were just going to use the beachhead body, kind of like with the Alpha Commando Snake Eyes. And I kind of thought that would look great for Stalker. Oddly enough, this new version of Stalker kind of looks like Stalker's head on Ripcord's body. It makes me think, are they going to end up using this body again for someone like Ripcord? That'd be neat to see, or at least Footloose. Maybe you can give him Duke's lower arms, but it is a pinless design, because the newer designs going forward are all pinless. I mean, you can see that Lady J's pinless. Yeah, I think that's it. Baroness, I think, has pins in her lower leg. I can't see him from here, but I'm pretty sure she has pins in her lower legs. The movie Baroness was pinless, and other newer figures are pinless. His sculpt looks pretty cool. They gave him the Noble Team June from Halo Reach scarf, or whatever you call that, shawl around his neck. That's pretty neat, because he's a ranger. Kind of makes sense for his specialties. His overall sculpt looks cool. His arms look kind of big, so it's like, yeah, it makes sense. He'd be pretty stout. I'm interested to see what kind of weapons he comes with. The Retro Line's weapons were kind of old school. It'd be nice to see this figure come with something like an M4 or, an AR-15 style rifle. They might end up giving him an Uzi. That'd be kind of nice. Like if he had a rifle, an Uzi, a sidearm, and a knife, and then whatever, hopefully he's got some kind of cool backpack. I'm really liking his design. When I looked at his face sculpt, Tomax and Zamot reminded me of Tom Cruise, and then Stalker kind of reminds me of another celebrity. I can't think of the actor's name, but he played Carlton on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's who that looks like. I really like how they did his camo. It's nice and subdued. It's kind of muted in a way. He's going to look great out in the wild, when you're taking pictures of him. The way they did his fingerless gloves, that's nice. You know, looks like that's possibly the Duke hands, but it's hard to tell. Hopefully it's just all new. I'm pretty sure they said it was all new. Well, that's enough about Stalker. Let's move on to the next reveal, which is a reuse of the 2-pack Baroness, or the Baroness that came with the motorcycle. And this time they're doing it more of a, he said they're doing less of a two-tone paint, like how on this Baroness, as you can see on her arms, she's got kind of gray paint apps there. This one's going to be mostly just going to be just all black. I don't think there's going to be any paint apps. I mean, one, that's going to save them on some money, but he did say that they played with the gloss effect on like her armor, as you can see in the images, that her armor plating or whatever will be that glossy black, but then her, I guess you'd say her bodysuit or whatever would be more of a flat black. That's nice. You know, it's going to look good. And then I think he said they also did a different face printing on her head sculpt. And from the digital render, it looks like it's going to be more cartoon accurate. And, you know, that's always welcome. This is going to be like a more cartoon accurate Baroness, I guess. Maybe she'll even come with that kind of laser rifle she had, you know, the vintage figure. My only issue is, like, we're getting so many reuses right off the bat. It's almost like, shouldn't a second version of Baroness be coming out, like, next year or something like that, you know, a couple years after the first one? 1984 was the original Baroness. I don't think we got a version 2 for like a few years. I'm not sure if the vintage line ever got a second Baroness. Later on, the re-release era, when they were reusing the sculpts, you know, we got other colored Baronesses. There was a blue one, a red one, and then obviously 25th anniversary, and then the Rise of Cobra and Retaliation Baroness figures. We even got the most recent movie Baroness, so we have plenty of Baroness. Oh, and then retro line Baroness. You know, we're just kind of getting a lot of this kind of the main characters, or the main hierarchy of Cobra, the main, you know, leadership of GI Joe, or the main characters, I guess. You know, we need more wild cards. We need do some more obscure characters. It'd be nice to see some of the Dreadnoks. We've had Zartan. You know, let's see a Dreadnok or two, but I guess they're going to do that as a 3-pack. But we could get Thrasher or Monkey Wrench, you know, one of the other Dreadnoks. Road Pig would be nice. Well, there's not really much to say about this Baroness figure, because, I mean, it's the same figure that I've already got right here, you know, so it's kind of redundant in a way. It's like, yeah, they got a nicer paint job on her, but these updates to figures we've already gotten with a better paint job, or a more Sunbow or more vintage accurate paint job, it's kind of annoying, because those are the figures we should have gotten first. It's like they're doing damage control. They're trying to make this course correction after we've already gotten a bunch of these figures, and it's like, I don't want to have to sit there and buy these figures over and over and over again. I don't want the only releases to basically be re-releases. Again, there's not really much to say about this Baroness figure, so I'm going to move on to the next one, which is a Lady J re-release. That's this same Lady J classified figure, but with brighter green uniform. She's going to have a black baseball cap instead of a blue one. Still going to be the removable wig situation going on. They did a different face printing or makeup on her face, so I mean, that looks nice. It looks cartoon accurate. This is the one we should have gotten, and this one was already, it's not that much different from this one. It's really just a black hat and a just brighter green on the uniform. I don't know. It's kind of irritating how quickly they're coming out with this Lady J version when they just released this one. That's annoying. You know, it's like how Cobra Commander, the first wave or whatever, there was, I think, 3 different versions of him. The dark blue that I have here, the light blue, like the 25th anniversary figure standing in front of him, and then the ornate one or whatever with the fancy box for whatever reason. You know, same thing with Snake Eyes. I believe we got 2 different versions of him. We got the deluxe version and then the standard release. But I mean, they've already done the movie figure too, so there's a 3rd Snake Eyes either way. You know, Roadblock's been done 3 times, and then hell, Gungho is just Roadblock's body. It's a little annoying how quickly they're reusing parts right now. I know they did it in the vintage era, like in the OG 13. That was a lot of reuse right there. They should just kind of like pace it out a little more. That would feel a little better. We would see more new characters, not just the same thing over and over again, reiterated. Beating a dead horse because these redundancies. Here I'm going to go out of order because they kind of went out of order in terms of toy lines. So I'm going to stick with classified. Another re-release. Now we have Destro in more classic cartoon colors. He's going to have the more flat black look to him. He's going to have a shinier metal, I guess, paint or whatever on his head. Possibly a metal head. I don't know. It'd be neat if they actually had a metal head sculpt for him. Again, not much to say because this is a figure I already have right there. I know I like this figure, so yeah, I would love this figure, but I've already got this one. I don't need one that's slightly different from him in color. So it's annoying that they did this one first when I would rather have this newer one. I don't want to go through, like, I don't want to have to sell this one, just like offset the cost of this one, bullshit like that. In this live stream, they both were saying stuff like, we're listening to you, we hear you, we know what you guys want. And they try to sound like they respect us and they care about what we think and all this kind of stuff. And they don't. They don't. And I'm not talking about the two people on the live stream personally or anything like that. I'm talking about Hasbro, the company, how they behave towards us. For that Galactus crowdfunding thing they did, they were calling us heralds. Do you realize what that means in like Marvel lore? The Herald was a slave to Galactus that had to find him new planets to devour. And they were calling us that. We had to find Hasbro new money to devour. It's irritating how they talk to us. They talk to us like we're idiots. They say fan first instead of customers. We're customers. We're not fans. We're customers. We buy a product from you, and it's a specific kind of product that you're meant to collect. We're collecting a toy line from you, a series of products, and you talk to us like we're retarded. You talk to us like we're stupid. You talk to us like we're made of money. Each one of these figures is $20, right? That's over $200 right there, not counting all these vintage figures and 25th anniversary figures, which these were totally reasonably priced when they came out. You used to be able to get 2 packs of these figures for $15. That's reasonable. Now, $15 will get you one of these Cobra Troopers. And I know people are like, inflation, tooling costs. They're throwing out these excuses. It was totally easy or reasonable to collect toys or action figures that they made just 10 years ago. Now, it's not reasonable. It's only people who, they don't mind spending hundreds of dollars on, what is that, like 11 figures? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. $200 right there. That would have been $100 in like the early 2000s if you were talking about Marvel Legends 6-inch figures. Because of Disney is why we pay $20 per classified figure. All right, I know Disney doesn't own GI Joe, but they own Star Wars and Marvel, and that's why Hasbro makes Marvel Legends and the Black Series figures $20, or now they're easing up to $25 to $30 per figure per 6-inch figure. But that's because of Disney's licensing fees. It's not the price of plastic, it's not the tooling costs, it's not the blah blah. It's because of Disney licensing fees. When Hasbro decided to do 6-inch GI Joes, they could have sold them to us for a reasonable price, like whatever, like based off the cost of it and everything. And they don't pay a licensing fee to someone to do GI Joe. They own GI Joe's license. They are GI Joe. They could have been nice to us. They could have done right by the customer, but they didn't. Imagine how much money they're making off of a GI Joe classified figure that you're paying the same price you would for a Disney or a Marvel figure that has, the reason why its price is as high as it is the Disney licensing fee. So that's extra money Hasbro's making per figure. And then think about this. They've been doing female figures like Baroness here with ball hinged elbows instead of double jointed elbows like most of the male figures. So that saved the money doing that, the ball jointed. Doing the torso the way they did also saved them money. Not that that's a bad thing on that, because it is a nicer way to do the torso like the way they've done on the females. It's better than the hinged ab crunch. The other thing about the female figures that you have to take into account is they use much less plastic than the male figures, right? The male figures tend to be bigger in stature than the female figures. So they're saving money there. You're not getting more accessories out of it. The GI Joe classified figures don't come with a Build-A-Figure part. They do this stuff with these re-releases of these repaints like this, like they're doing us a favor, like they love us or something like that, or like they really care about us as collectors, or they really want us to be happy or something like that. And it's like, no, it has nothing to do with that. It's all just Hasbro making money off of us. Maybe Hasbro should have told Disney, fuck you, you're trying to ruin toy collecting for like adult collectors and ruin toys or action figures for kids. I don't know. I'm kind of ranting about prices and stuff, but it's so hard not to when they're doing this crap with these re-releases like Destro, Baroness, Lady J, What was the other one? There was another one. Oh, yeah, the roadblock, the issue with roadblocks. So let's go on to this next one, which is another re-release. It's Gung-Ho this time in the more classic or vintage colors. I mean, it does look nice, and I do want to get this one, all right, because I like this version of Gung-Ho, but I want this one just because it is more gung-ho than this one. Even the hat is more gung-ho. Biggest issue with this guy, though, is they still have this Third Reich looking tattoo on his chest instead of the ER, or what do you call it, the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor. Come on, man. He's supposed to be a Marine, a jarhead. That is not the Marine Corps logo. There's something about how they did that eagle where it really does look like one of those Nazi, logos or whatever you call it, emblems. Other than that weird kind of nitpick, it's great they gave him a sidearm holster. I like the way they did these grenades on his left leg. He's got a knife sheath. He's got a new vest. And his head sculpt looks new because it looks like the mustache is different on it. And it looks, like it's going to be more cartoon accurate. And I like it. That's one I am going to get, but I'm still pissed off that that's not the first version of Gung-Ho that they did. They should have done that version first. You can call him Night Force Gung-Ho or something like that. They already told us they're going to be doing a Tiger Force Duke, or somehow it was like leaked or something like that. They're going to do Tiger Force variants for all of these. They're going to do a Tiger Force Ram with that Duke, I think. That's a little different from these repaints. Like, we kind of expected them to eventually do those things. But it's like how they released Tiger Force Outback before the regular Outback. All right, let's get on to the last classified thing. This is actually cool. It's a repaint, reuse, or whatever you want to call it. It kind of makes sense to do this. It's a 3-pack of Vipers, and one of the Vipers is an Officer Viper. That's really cool that they're doing this. And the two lower ranking Vipers, they're different from these. It's more of a gray vest than a black vest. I think the boots are gray too. It kind of looks gray in this image. The blue looks like a not so dark blue, a little bit lighter, like the vintage one. That officer, he looks pretty cool. He kind of reminds me of the Stinger driver, or maybe an Iron Grenadier kind of color because of that gold. The one thing that sucks, though, is the way they did the Cobra logo right about where the tip of that bandana is going. So it's like that bandana kind of covers up the Cobra logo. That was kind of dumb. You would think they would design the bandana to kind of go more the other way and kind of hug up against those smoke grenades or whatever those are in his vest. You can always take it off. You don't have to leave the bandana on. I think these look cool. No, I'm going to move on to the next thing, which is we're finally getting away from classified figures. And we're going to some of the first images of other O-ring figures. Okay, so this first set, it's apparently a 2-pack troop builder. If that Storm Shadow versus Snake Eyes is any indicator at being $40 for 2 O-ring figures, this 2-pack may also be $40. They didn't say the price, but if this is $40 for these 2 O-ring figures, Hasbro is screwing you. I'm not going to buy into this line if they're trying to do $20 per O-ring figure. I'm not going to go above $10, on the O-ring figures. If they want to charge, something between, $10 and $15 for them, I'm just going to go, nah, you know what, I'll just collect the vintage ones, because that's about the same price. No. Hasbro can totally make them for under $10, and they won't. They just won't. They want to take advantage of us. But they're not even thinking about what it does to kids collecting action figures. I started off as a kid collecting action figures. You're not going to have any more people collecting action figures in just a few decades because of this behavior. Kids aren't collecting action figures now because parents mostly aren't really buying articulated ones for them. They buy them the super cheapo ones when they're little kids, but then as soon as they get them addicted to a screen, they have virtual action figures at that point. And they're so much cheaper. Visually, these new O-ring figures, yeah, they look great. Yeah, it'd be great to see how they have the gummy hands instead of the brittle, older style plastic, where you're worried about the thumbs breaking. It'd be great to see some pristine, brand new, O-ring figures. It being a troop builder, that's a great idea to do. Like how they're doing for Star Wars Vintage Collection. You get 4 Stormtroopers for $42, 4 Shore Troopers for $42, 4 Rebel, what do they call them? Fleet Troopers or Vanguards or whatever. That's a great thing to do. Again, if this is $40 for these 2, fuck you, Hasbro. Fuck you. That's messed up. Why would anybody be dumb enough to sit there and start paying $40 or $20 for new O-ring figures that Hasbro makes? Again, visually these figures look great, but price-wise, if they're going to be $40 each, fuck Hasbro. I'm not going to, buy into that. I suggest you don't, encourage their behavior. Don't sit there and go, oh, well, it's the only way to get new products. I like to collect from Hasbro. I want Hasbro to get rich. But I'm not going to let them piss down my back and tell me it's rain, dude. There's still one more O-ring reveal, and it's Cobra Commander and with his helmet, and then Duke, and they're in the Sunbow colors, and yeah, that looks great. Yeah, I would love to buy that. But if it's $40, if that's not $20 for that 2-pack, I will never buy that shit. It's irritating the shit out of me what Hasbro's doing. The other thing they're doing is they're releasing so much shit in just a year. And then look at 2020 to 2022, all the shit they've released. During a pandemic. Look at what Hasbro was doing. They were exploiting people during a pandemic for fucking action figures. They used to be the brand that actually cared about kids and cared about like families, and they cared about the community or whatever. They seemed to care more just 10 years ago. But then, like when Disney bought Star Wars, it's like they just sold their soul and quit being Hasbro. Or like someone else started working there that changed the way they do everything. A business is all about money. But at least Hasbro's business was about still maintaining like affordability mainly for kids. I don't know if I'm going to edit most of this shit out. I probably will, because like people would they'll start ripping into you. Oh, you're just too poor. Oh, you just need a better job. Oh, you just like to bitch, or oh, blah blah. Like they'll come up with all this kind of shit to shame you into shutting up about saying these toys cost too much. And what I think that is for most dudes is that they don't want their wife to hear you saying something reasonable about collecting, or saying that, oh, it's messed up to be collecting these overpriced toys or these cost too much. Because if their wife starts hearing someone like you saying that stuff, their wife starts getting onto them about their toy collections and stuff. That's what it is. Most of the case. That's what I think. It's like a preemptive, oh, I gotta shut him up, man. My wife saw that. Hasbro, you are fucking up. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're making money, but you're screwing over people who've supported you forever. Here, let's try to move on to something different. I was thinking, an interesting thing I saw in all the comments was a lot of people want this Shipwreck in classified. Right? I would be really surprised. Man, he's got to like lean forward a lot. There you go. I would be really surprised if they do this version of Shipwreck, mainly because of the bell bottoms. I just don't see them doing bell bottoms on one of these classified figures, but I don't know. Maybe they will. If they don't ever make this version of Shipwreck, here's a good idea. Get the Black Series Lando Calrissian, because he's got enough on him that's basically what Shipwreck's wearing. I mean, he's got the lower leg, or the lower torso, from the torso down, or from the hips down, or whatever. That's basically Shipwreck. That's close enough, right? I mean, you don't really have to go much further than that. And then when you look at his upper body, it's the same blue. You just kind of sculpt on here the buttons or whatnot, and the little pockets, little collar. I could see someone turning one of these Landos into a Shipwreck. I thought that was cool. Shipwreck's my favorite character. And there was tons of love for the classic Shipwreck. Let's see if we can. Boop. Yeah, everybody loves some Shipwreck. Get you some wreck, bitch. Yeah. Love them. Something else I was thinking about doing just for the reactions. I didn't mean to rant so much, but I wanted to do I'm gonna show 3 characters, kind of like wild card picks for classified figures. I'm going to start with the one that I think will be sort of likely that it's possible they could make this version, but it would be much later on in the classified line before they ever got to someone like this. For this version of this character. And that is a RZA Blind Master. It's like, I'd love to see a classified version of this version of Blind Master. I've always liked Wu-Tang, and I just thought it'd be cool to have like a RZA classified figure. It's a neat design. Like, I always liked this action figure. He has a hat that he came with in some martial arts weapons that I should have gotten out for this. It'd be very neat to see this translated to the 6-inch scale, but I don't know if they'll ever get to this, and it being like a movie version and like a You mean like a celebrity likeness? You know, I don't know if they can. I've been using this guy as post our Revenge of the Sith Mace Windu. Like I imagine like Mace Windu somehow survived getting thrown out the window or whatever on Coruscant, and this is how he ended up. And like he must have had to get like a robotic hand like Luke. I think it was his right hand. It might have been his left. But yeah, he looks super sweet with a Mace Windu's lightsaber. Just okay. This next one, I'm gonna give you some clues to who I'm talking about. First clue is he likes fire. The second clue is his name is absolutely ridiculous. Can you think of who I'm talking about? Ice Cream Soldier. Let's see Ice Cream Soldier done in classified line. And I would probably be okay if they reuse Destro's body like they did for Barbecue. Just give him a different, whatever you call that vest or whatever they call the thing that they put over the torso, you know, the rubbery piece that can cover up the torso to make it look like another figure, like a vest or something like that. You know, like they did for Barbecue. They just put something over Destro's torso to make him look different. Do that for Ice Cream Soldier here. Give him the Ice Cream Soldier styled helmet, and then that bright orange and yellow. It'd be very interesting to see if they start doing these 90s neon figures like Ice Cream Soldier. I would just love to see Ice Cream Soldier on the classified box. That'd be hilarious. Yeah, just, you know, kind of a neat wild card choice. And then my last choice, I want to see a Headman in classified scale, and then they could reuse the Headman suited body to do suited versions of the twins later on down the road if they wanted, but give them a Tommy gun for sure. And then I don't know if I'd do them in the I don't know if I'd do them in this orange version. I'd probably do them in the pinstripe, the black suit with the gold pinstripes. I'd probably do them in that original version. But yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be sick. I mean, he's such a, you know, it's like a goofy concept of like a 40s style mafia boss, you know, in GI Joe, but I don't know. I just like it for some reason. And this one especially looks like the Hamburglar. It's like, I know a lot of people say that Headman looks goofy and all, but man, look at Destro. Okay, you can't sit there and tell me that Destro doesn't look goofy too. A metal head, you know, bare open chest like that, big wide collar and all that, big ruby on his chest. I mean, come on. Don't sit there and give me Headman's too ridiculous to be classified. What? Who? What's that, Chrome Dome? I'm just saying, you know, let's get this guy in there too. And like I said, you can reuse the suited body, I'm sure, for suited twins, whatever, you know. Maybe even General Flag or something like that. Not General Flag. Abernathy, or that's Hawk. Anyways, I'm talking about this guy. Pretty sure that's Hawk. But you know, I mean, like do a suited up or a more uniform version. But yeah, let's get a Headman. So yeah, just to reiterate, my three choices, like wild card choices for classified figures that'll probably never get made. So in closing, piss on Hasbro for doing these re-releases like they're doing, and then trying to do 2 packs of O-rings, most likely for $40. I mean, we'll have to see what they end up pricing them as. But if it's 40, yeah, fuck them. You know, yeah, I'll get that Stalker figure, because that's like one actual new thing from the whole line, or from the whole reveal today. So my overall impression of this latest Hasbro reveal is I'm not impressed. You know, yeah, it's great, we're going to get that Stalker figure, but all these reuses of the same molds that we're already getting in colors that we should have gotten the first time around, that's irritating as hell. Then the news of these O-ring figures, or at least my speculation on them, that they're going to be $40 for a 2-pack, you know, that's just not, it's not sitting well with me. I don't know about you guys. Not too happy about all this. The one bright spot in all of it is a nice Stalker figures coming out. You know, we'll get a good Stalker figure for classified. And then who knows? I hope I'm wrong about the O-ring figure 2-packs that they're going to be doing. I hope they're only like $20, $25 at the most. I really won't want to pay $25 for a 2-pack of O-ring figures. I would probably cave in for $25, but anything over that, like, I'm definitely not gonna, you know, be funding that. Well, that's all I gotta say about this latest reveal from Hasbro, or disappointment, I should say, from Hasbro. Thanks for watching, and you know, I'll tune in next time, and I'll see you guys later.